This one a little light. Not the full 10 bands. Well, we got them stacks up. We got them stacks up. Just got to show off a little bit. Show, what I'm holding in the stash. What I'm holding in the stash box. I travel with this. Just a little something. And the reason why I'm just showing this off, this for the haters. Social Security numbers for poor people. That's the name of this live right here. We keep these. We $10,000 bands all day. Go through it. We blow through it. We blow through it. $10,000 bands. $10,000 bands. But check this out, man. The Social Security number is for poor people. Much peace and love. Y'all want to tap in? Text Private Life to 702-200-4900. Again, text Private Life to 702-200-4900. Or go to the DK's Private Business Circle at school.com/DonKilam. That's SKOOL.com/DONKILAM. DONKILAM. School.com/DonKilam. I'm on the tablet. Let me pop this out. I shouldn't even be showing y'all that motherfucker. This that motherfucker private life. Real life private shit. The stash box. Take a look at a day in Don Kilam's life. That's it. The stash box. But that's neither here nor there. It's still spinning, right? So cash is still king. I'm going to drop some game for y'all today. Because I'm telling everybody text Private Life to 702-200-4900. Then a lot of people get upset. Why are you charging for consults? I'm supposed to talk to you free all day? I need y'all to know I have thousands and thousands of people hit me up every day just on Instagram alone. And then the school, I have 400 students in the school that hit me up every day. So yes, time is of the essence. Time is very valuable for me. I have 4 children. So I just need y'all to understand how important time is before we even go forward. I bring this information to the public so you can make better informed choices, not to hit me up and expect me to continue to give you a handout. We're here doing hand-ups, not handouts. Use the information and get ahead in life. That's what this information is for. So you can get around those who are implementing this private information. Those who are operating correctly in commerce, you can get in those rooms. All right? We're not here for the questions, especially when I do lives. You keep asking me questions on the lives, I just remove you from the live. Google is free. You can ask your mom something for free. You can ask your dad something for free. Wi-Fi is free. There's no reason you should be asking me anything for free when I'm bringing you information right now. This is the service right now. DonKilam.com is free. DONKILAM.com. But don't expect people to want to see you get ahead. We are not going to go out of our way to help somebody for free. In commerce. Because it takes money to make money. You know, I can show you how to get grants. I can show you how to do all that. But in order to become a business savvy entrepreneur, you have to get around those people and take risk. You have to take risk. And the reason why you don't have money right now, most people don't have money, is because they're spending their time on things that are not valuable. If you're focused on something that is valuable, if you're learning something that is valuable, it's going to bring value into your life. So obviously you're not studying the right shit. He said, my girl brought me your book and I looked you up the whole time you was following me. Peace and love. He said the book is good this far. So you got to start making more valuable decisions. My information and the services that I offer is not for a public family looking for a handout. That is the beneficiary mindset. That's the whole purpose of a Social Security number. To make you a beneficiary as receiving a handout. The information that I give is private knowledge, private education to become better informed in life. So you become a trustee and you learn how to invest in yourself. You learn how to invest in your family. You learn how to grow yourself. You learn how to grow the family, and you learn how to grow the family wealth. And the only how you can do that is by getting around people that do the same thing. Most people don't even know what a Social Security number is or what it really means. And that's what I try to teach people. They don't understand how it's tied to the legal name, which is an entity, a legal entity in the public sector. And it creates something called a Cesti KVI Trust. Cesti KVI Trust. CESTIQUEVIE. CESTIQUVIE. Cesti KVI. This makes you a beneficiary. When you get food stamps, you're a beneficiary. You're receiving a handout. You're receiving a handout. When you get any type of public assistance from the state, when you send your kids to school, they saying you receive a handout. Even when you go to jail in this public sector, when you go sign up and receive a car, they're saying you're the beneficiary. You pick the trustee and you're the beneficiary, and now you have to pay the tax. This is why you're stuck with paying taxes, because you're operating as a beneficiary. A lot of people don't know how to act as a trustee. All right? We got to get rid of this something for nothing mentality. And that's what's going on in the public sector. That's what's going on in the public sector. That's what's going on as a nickdom. It's a nickdom mentality. And the reason being I say this because the worst ones that come up to me is the same people that I'm trying to help and save. It's the black folks. Grown black men sitting here begging for handouts and then get mad. I'm going to say you're a scam because I can't afford your service. If you don't have $500 to invest for a phone call to learn the right information, to guide you in the right direction, $500 in 2025 is really a drop in the bucket. If you don't have $500, $500 is not going to get you a lot of anything in today's world. And I promise you that. When I spend $500, I definitely spend more than that a day. More than that a day. $500 to invest in your prosperity and for your family. We're breaking generational wealth. We're generational curses. We're breaking generational curses. So you have generational wealth. So understanding the Social Security number. A lot of people don't understand that they're operating in trust already in the public when they're using the Social Security number. And then they don't understand that it's under the Cesti KVI Trust. This is the public trust that has been set up for you by default. If you're not under a private family, you don't have a private family trust, because I need y'all to understand this. The government is established by private families. I was talking about this today with my homie Equity. The government is established by private families. But you're not operating as a private family. That's who controls the government, is private families. Operating in private trust. The Social Security number is a representation of the trust. So anytime you're using the number, you're representing the trust, and you're representing it in a beneficiary capacity. Beneficiary, that means you are held with the tax. The beneficiary always receives the tax when you understand trust law. When you start understanding how a true trust works, you'll start realizing just exactly how promissory notes work. A Federal Reserve note is a promissory note, a promise to pay later when gold is back in effect. Some states have put it in effect, like Florida. But when you're using Federal Reserve notes, it's supposed to be backed by gold. It's a promissory note. So they owe you money, so they give you credits instead of money. You put the promissory note in the bank, they give you credits. There's your credits. You can use it in commerce. The Social Security number is a representation of a trust because assets are held under it until you die. That's why the Social Security number is represented as a trust, because you can get assets with it. You can get your car with it. You can get that's how you get utilities turned on. That's an asset. You need electricity. The electricity is the asset. They're all backed by your labor. A lot of people don't understand that. You can't get a car unless they got your social and your signature. You can't get a house unless they got your social and your signature when it comes to a mortgage. When it comes to property, you put it under that. You put it under your social security number. So this is why the government can take things away when you die. The government does it goes through something called probate. It goes through court. So the point, the part of the Cesti K Vi Trust is learning about legal title and equitable title. Legal title and equitable title. And learning that you truly hold equitable title. And that's holding the thing itself. The legal title, they own the legal title because when you register a car, you actually gave legal title to the government because you don't have the manufacturer statement of origin, the MCO, the manufacturer certificate of origin. You can only hold the thing itself. It's not yours. You don't really own it because it's titled to the state. Under the when it comes to the trustee or the Social Security number, you cannot be the trustee. The public trust is for the government. It isn't you. So that's why people think that the government controls them. It's not that they control them. It's because they're the beneficiaries of a trust, and the trustees call the shot. The beneficiary has no say when it comes to this public trust, called the Social Security number. So when you identify with the Social Security number, when you identify with the birth certificate, you identify with a state ID card, this is why they treat you differently. This is why they act as if they hold power over you, because it is in the law that the United States business is a United States citizen. United States citizen means United States business. I was just looking that up. Let me just use my phone. Because computer going slow today. I ain't hardly got no service, so I apologize. U.S. citizen means U.S. business. That's under 15 U.S.C. 4724E1. As much as I say it, I should already know this. I should already know the code. But 15 U.S.C. 4724E1. The term United States business means a United States citizen, a corporation, partnership, or other associations created under the laws of the United States or of any state, including the District of Columbia or any Commonwealth territory possession of the United States or a foreign corporation. So this is why you have to create your own private family foundations, your private family trust. That is important from start. Instead of operating as a citizen, now you're going to operate as a national. And you can become an American national when you do your oath of allegiance to the state that you're in. Because that's all a national means. You got to understand the federal laws. It's important to, even though we're not bound to codes and statutes, it's important to understand their definitions on how they perceive things. So you can operate within their laws and bylaws and their borders. Because all the code and statute is a border. So when you look at 8 U.S.C. 1101, 821, national. The term national means a person owing permanent allegiance to a state. My apologies. Motherfuckers want to call. Knowing I'm on the live. Let me block them. Because I don't do that shit. The fuck wrong with you, bro? Better drop a motherfucking donation. Alright, apologize. Shout out to Chris Coleman too. I just found out he's part of my school. I added him because my homie Equity is taking his trading class. So shout out to him, man. Shout out to the doctor, Chris Coleman. Shout out to Harvard Christian University as well. because they know this knowledge. They ain't afraid to. They not afraid to share it. Yeah, let me know right now. Let's take a quick little break. Let me know where you're tapping in from. Codish Exotic says he's tapping in from Illinois. Yeah, motherfucker gonna call me while I'm on a live. That's a good way to get blocked. You see me on the live, motherfucker. Block. We got Chicago in the building. Shout out to Chicago. I'm actually in the Chicago area right now. Holla at your boy. You trying to tap in. We got LA in the building. We got Rhode Island in the building. We got Florida in the building. Florida deep today. LA. Florida on the TikTok too. We on the TikTok. DONKILAM University. On the Instagram, it's DONKILAM_legacy. Shout out to Toronto, LA, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Seattle, Florida again, Richmond, VA, stand up. We got Watts in the building. They got all Bloods out there. Shout out to the Bloods and Watts. I don't gangbang though. I'm just saying, I just know. Shout out to Jersey. Shout out to Oak Cliff. Shout out to Michigan, just left there. Shout out to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Hit me up. Send me a DM, 773. Send me a DM. Camden in the building, Detroit in the building, California in the building, Massachusetts in the building, Camden. Cause if you trying to record, I'll hop on that bitch. We might be able to do something tonight, homie. Holla at me. I'm in your area, man. Start me a couple hundred or something, man. I'm in the area, man. That's enough for me to eat tomorrow. You feel me? Michigan, see? A console 500. If I'm in your city, I'll fuck with you. You're doing the right shit. Couple hundred, I'll pull up. Let's talk about that real shit. H-Town, stand up. Houston, Camden, Detroit. Camden again. Georgia. Savannah, Georgia. New York in the building. But peace and love. Let's get back to the motherfucking mission statement. You hear me? That's what Equity said when we was recording our show today. Our mission statement is we're here to uplift fallen humanity. And that don't mean giving you handouts. Shout out to San Antonio. Shit, that don't mean giving you handouts. That means you have to put in the work. You have to do due diligence. If you're not putting in the time and the effort to get around those people, so they're like, Don, how did you learn this? I made sure to go to real estate events. I made sure to go to business mixers. You know what I'm saying? Business networking events. Sometimes this shit costs. But so what? I'm going to get around it and I'm going to see who knows what. I know what knowledge I'm searching for. I know what bracket. There's different brackets. There's levels to this shit. I know which bracket I'm looking for. Like, hey, this certain bracket talks about this. This certain bracket talks about this. Then I started learning the golf game. Started playing a little golf. And started learning, hey, these people talk about this, but you're going to have to bet. You're going to have to do some type of wagers, but they got the knowledge. You feel me? Shout out to, we got Rashad Jamal in the building. Peace and love. But yeah, so just getting around the right circles. Getting around the right people. Because I'm going to tell you right now, on the if I'm around some white folks playing golf, they're gonna laugh at motherfuckers talking about trying to cash in their birth certificate, trying to cash in their Social Security card. They're gonna laugh at you. What a rich motherfucker do, he's gonna create a car lot. Hey, I need some cars. I'm gonna create a car lot and then use the Social Security number to lease some cars or get credit for the cars. You understand? Does that make sense? If somebody wants a house, they'll create their own mortgage company, get their own brokers, get their own underwriters. You have to, when you get around the higher net worths, they're building private teams. You understand? They're building teams. So people are like, how do I cash in my birth certificate? How do I cash in the Social Security trust? Fucking create a business. Everything is business. United States means federal corporation. Anytime I'm getting an EIN without a Social Security number, how can they tax that business? If I'm setting up the business that the beneficial owner is a private trust, how can they tax this business? If you being anonymous is key when it comes to privacy. You have the right to be private. It's your right to be private. That's Article 1, Section 10 of the United States Constitution. It's your right to be private. You can set up your businesses in a private capacity. It just so happens you made your name a business with the United States, and it's a public name now. They registered with something called ICANN, the International Center of Association of Names and Numbers. They register your name just like a website. They register your name just like a phone number. That's why you got the Social Security number. All this is registered with the International Center of Associations of Names and Numbers. A lot of people don't even understand this. Like, it's major. Drop a 100 right now, or a fire emoji if this is making sense to you so far. I gotta know that it's making sense. It's $1 million worth of gang. Got the fire emojis. So everything is business in America. So you got to understand, this is how the Amish truly operate. Aren't there Amish grocery stores? Let me know if this is making sense. Say, yes, Don, I know that there's Amish grocery stores. Because just because the Amish people might not have bank accounts, they got cash. Because that's how they operate in a cashless society. They still use cash. Cash is still king. I can type in right now, Amish grocery stores. How do Amish people collect credit cards at the grocery store? Something called an unincorporated association. Somebody from the higher ups. We got farmers markets, Amish markets, Amish country stores. Where do Amish get their groceries? Local Amish and Mennonite stores. Why are Amish grocery stores so cheap? They handpick all the food they source in their grocery. It's food, listen, they didn't get none from the government. All these grocery stores you see in here, they're ordering it from other places. Amish grow their own food. I'm glad y'all are understanding, y'all seeing how it works. The Amish have their own land. The Amish build their own houses. They don't get mortgages. So I just need y'all to realize they're trustees, not beneficiaries. This is why they're self-governed through their religious establishments. All right. So the worst trust to be under is a public trust, because you are the beneficiary, because you receive the rents, issues, profits thereof, the legal estate, which is invested in the trustee. If you're trying to operate as a trustee and a beneficiary, this is called commingling. When you're trying to act as a trustee and beneficiary, commingling is a trustee crime. That's breaking trust law. Because in the public, the United States holds legal title and rights to your estate. They hold a legal title and rights to your estate, which is your legal entity, your how you are perceived in this system, in this legal system. The United States holds the legal title and the rights to your estate, because under the Social Security number, the United States can administer your property after you die. If you don't have a will or trust established, your assets, your cars, your houses, anything of value has to be administered and handed down through a United States probate court. That's what court is today. I don't care if you get a speeding ticket. I don't care if you're you sold drugs. You're in probate court. It's a civil case. They're administering your estate. Admiralty law. This is why you have to sign everything. This is why you have to take the plea bargain. This is why you have to say you understand. Because if there's any type of discrepancy, they can't administer the trust. All parties have to agree. It's just like a city council meeting. Because a city council meeting is a trust hearing based on the trust that you perceive to be the city. This is why trustee training is very important. Tap in November 2025. Got an event, Atlanta, Georgia, November 15th. November 14th and 15th. 14th is open to the public. 15th, get that private trustee training in. I show everybody how to operate. I'm going to give you a template too. If you're coming to to be a private trustee, you'll come into the private trustee meeting on the 15th. I'm going to give everybody the template, which is a $15,000 trust, the non-grantor, irrevocable, complex, discretionary spendthrift trust. So you know how to operate correctly with your family. Your family is the grantor. Your family is the trustee. Your family is the beneficiary. You just so happen to be the trustee on behalf of the family trust, the family foundations, anything that's moving and grooving. They created a business that's in your likeness and image that belongs to the family trust. They hold the assets to that, all right? This is what, when they talk about Illuminati handlers, they understand trustee training. An Illuminati handler is well-equipped in being a trustee. They're great fiduciaries. You understand? And a lot of people don't even understand how this moves and grooves. When you're signed to record labels, this is how I learned it in record labels. If you want to learn more, go to the school. The Atlanta event is open to my school members. It is free for everybody that's a school member. School.com/DONKILAM. SKOOL.com/DONKILAM. Or text Private Life to 702-200-4900. And someone will respond with information as soon as humanly possible. Because I'm not going to stop when I'm talking to answer y'all's fucking questions. That's my biggest pet peeve. I'll kick y'all out. I don't care. Pay attention. Y'all see the pinned message. Text Private Life to 702-200-4900. Got the private school where you're going to get access to all this. Only students can come to my Atlanta event. It's free for all my students in the private school. Because you already paid $50 for the month. So go ahead and come. I got a free event for you, November 14th. You want to tap in? Next day, November 15th, it's going to cost you $500. Tap in with the greats. You feel me? I will have millionaires in the building, guaranteed. All right? I will always have millionaires at my events. I'm supposed to have trustees and board members show up as well that's working with DONKILAM that have this trust. All right? The Social Security number is a beneficiary position. You can only receive benefits for this. This is why they pledge your labor. The Social Security trust is backed by your labor. That you're going to get up and go to work. That you're going to get up and continue to operate in the system. When you get a mortgage, you're operating in the system. When you get a car note, you're operating in the system. When you turn your utilities on, you're operating in the system. When you pay taxes, you're operating in the system. When you send your kids to a public school, you're operating in the system and receiving benefits from the Social Security Trust. So you're keeping the game going. When you get food stamps, when you file for Social Security, when you get public housing, when you get Section 8, when you file for loans and grants on this motherfucker, you're keeping the game going. The United States has legal title. You have equitable title as an owner. And you hold actual benefits. And this is why you get taxed as an individual. That's why when you understand that the Social Security is a trust, why would you even file your taxes as an individual? You're not an individual. You're a beneficiary. You should be filing it on behalf of a trust. Period. Whether it's a beneficiary or whether you're the trustee. But we like to file from the trustee perspective because that's the position that you can sit in and practice something called tax avoidance versus tax evasion. I need you to understand all laws are just tax violations. I'm not a licensed attorney tax expert. I do this for educational and informational purposes only. I have to say that because that is a bold statement. You want to say, hey, DONKILAM, this is what he said the law is. I'm breaking down definitions. Every code and statute that you break is a tax violation. So when you go to court, that's a tax violation because all courts are tax courts. This isn't DONKILAM's information. This is my perception of the law. So 28 U.S.C. 3002, subsection 2. Court means any court created by the Congress of the United States, excluding the United States Tax Court. So if there's any tax, or if there's any court, it has to be established by Congress according to federal law. This is 28 U.S.C. 3002, subsection 2. Court means any court created by the Congress of the United States, excluding the United States Tax Court. And we can take it to Article 3 as well. So let me slow this down just real quick. The court means any court created by the Congress of the United States, excluding the United States Tax Court. So if you have a court hearing, you could bring this code up. If you have a court hearing, where is the delegation order from Congress saying this is an actual court? Because I doubt Congress had a hearing on you saying, hey, let's create court on him. That means it's a tax issue. It's a tax issue. That's federal codes and statutes. Now let's look at Article 3 of, this is the Bill of Rights. People don't talk about the Bill of Rights. They talk about the Constitution when it starts at Amendment 1. Amendment means to change. You have to start with articles, the Articles of Confederation. We was under the Articles of Confederation before the United States Corporation, all right? So, the judicial power of the United States shall be invested. Let me start it over. It's not invested, it's vested. So strike that from the record. The judicial power of the United States shall be vested in one Supreme Court and in such inferior courts as the Congress may from time to time ordain and establish. Again, this gives power to the courts that the Supreme Court must establish this court. And if it's a lower court, Congress must establish it. So if they don't have a delegation order from the Supreme Court, they don't have a delegation order from Congress, then it is a tax court. That's Article 3 of the Articles of Confederation. Article 3, Article 3, Section 1. Article 3, Section 1. The judicial power of the United States shall be vested in one Supreme Court and in such inferior courts as the Congress may from time to time ordain and establish. So if you have a court case, is this the time that they ordained and established? You want to learn more, you want to tap in? Because I help people with this all day. I'll even prove, Trinity versus Pagliaro. Attorneys are federal agents. A plaintiff or the attorney cannot be a witness and an attorney. He's either a witness or an attorney. Simple as that. Is the attorney a witness or are you operating as an attorney? That means the attorney cannot submit evidence on behalf of a defendant. An attorney cannot submit evidence on behalf of the defendant. It has to be a witness, a called witness. And people are just going with the flow because of contracts. Contract is law. And law is contracts. Understand that when you're operating in America. Like I was just talking today. Look up, Google this. Is family law private law? Because there's a public law, there's a private law. Public is codes and statutes. Private is common law. You use your natural judgment. If there's no victim, there's no case. I have the right to face my accuser. So 28 U.S.C. 3002, subsection 2. Court means any court created by the Congress of the United States, excluding the United States Tax Court. Everything is contracts. Everything is a tax because you're operating with the Social Security number. You're operating with the birth certificate. You're operating with the ID. You have to opt out of these contracts and start operating as a trustee so you can at least direct where the benefits go as a trustee on the private side. You can be your own government. You can be your own car lot. You can be your own mortgage company and direct where these funds go. Because with the Social Security number, even though you're doing all the work for the trust, you're still a beneficiary, not the trustee. The trustee does the work for the trust. If you're in the public, you're always the beneficiary. What happens is called something called amalgamation. Amalgamation. I'm going to look this up for you. I talk about this a lot. These are trustee words. Like we were just talking about quid pro quo today. Something for something. Quit asking for handouts. Everything has to be fair exchange. And we're so used to just benefiting and not knowing that they're really receiving something on the other side. Amalgamation is a combination of two or more companies into a new entity. And that's what's going on. All these are, if you signed it, it's a contract. The birth certificate is a contract. Social Security card's a contract. ID's a contract. Together they form one business, which is amalgamation. This is the citizen that the United States corporation owns. So this is the public default trust for uninformed families. Understand, family law is private law, trust law is private law, and trust law is contract law. What happens is families, when they go to the public for help, they give up their private rights. So being private is the same thing as being sovereign. When you receive equitable title, that just means you receive the benefits of this public trust. Legal title gives you the full control when you operate with the Social Security public trust number. Let me know that this is making sense, that this makes sense to you. Give me some fire emojis. Give me some 100s so I know that this stuff is going to sink in. Let me know that you took notes. You want to learn more? Tap into the school. Text Private Life to 702-200-4900 if you want to book a consultation. We do start at $500 for an hour. You want a half hour? We can do $250. I got 100s. I got some fire emojis. Now, I just want y'all to know, this is why everything's always about maintaining privacy. This isn't your natural name, but a legal name. And now a legal person. This is business, nothing personal when you live in the United States. The Social Security number is a default trust given to everyone within it. It's a public Cesti K-Vi trust. And within this trust, the beneficiary has no rights, just the trustees. The government is the trustee, and the government controls the trust. This is why people think public trustees control them, because they're operating as a beneficiary. All evidence proves that you're a beneficiary. It's not what you know, it's what you can prove. You're showing us that you're the beneficiary. When you register your car, you're the beneficiary now. You get the benefit from public rights, governmental rights. At any time, you can stop using this number and control how these benefits are distributed, and you stop receiving them personally. It's all about that. Quit receiving them personally. You can be a trustee and beneficiary, but you can't be a sole trustee and sole beneficiary. That's what the doctrine of merger, commingling of funds. Doctrine of merger. Public trusts are governed under state statutes. Private trusts, that's your law. When you're using private trust, you can always distribute 100% of the tax liabilities to its beneficiaries. With the private trust, you always have family members set up as successor trustees, and there's no taxes. It's about owning nothing, controlling everything, having private family foundations. Then you can start learning how to get the bag. Then you can start dealing with promissory notes. Then you can start dealing with securities when you have the private family trust established. Make sure y'all tap in to DK's Private Business Circle at school.com/DonKilam. That's SKOOL.com/DONKILAM. That's the best way to book a consult. Anybody that's a member of this school, November 14th, y'all can tap in. Free event, Atlanta, Georgia. It's on a Friday. Tap in. It's going to be a great weekend in Atlanta. Much peace and love. And remember, prosperity is your divine birthright. Peace. Y'all get that motherfucking paper. That's what it's about. Get that motherfucking credit paper. Run it up, run it up, run it up.